Playing with nature is a funny way to put it, but obviously when we were talking about GMOs, yeah, you're really playing with nature there, and the companies that develop the GMOs are imposing them on people, and governments, at least here, are too weak to stand up to that, and we're really getting shafted. The way that I play with nature is basically taking seeds and adding water. I'm not really changing anything. I'm just letting them grow in an environment that is not their natural environment. Nonetheless, I'm using organic seeds that I'm planting in organic soil and letting them grow in artificial conditions. But you could do that in a jar. You could do that outside, and it would pretty much be the same thing.
Alright, so you're going to take a visit of the farm, the way that I usually give this tour.
We do here over 20 varieties of sprouts.
Green peas, crimson lentils, chickpeas.
Now we have a very well established system of growing sprouts in a city, indoors, year-round.
Now the first thing that we'll do every morning is we'll soak these seeds in water, and they will be put in a separate room where there's a fog that's made with an ultrasound machine that gives a dry fog so that nothing gets wet, but the humidity is maintained exactly to the level that we want. Now we can go to see what happens after they've sprouted. These seeds have been soaked and they've started to sprout. They were started yesterday, and if you look at them closely, you can see the little shoots that are coming out. So this is radish seed. All these sprouts are going to be planted on these trays of soil. This soil is actually compost that we make here with all our waste.
In the case of wheatgrass, you can get about up to 92 minerals in that wheatgrass, if they're present in the soil, of course. So we do take great care in making very, very good compost, and that's pretty much the heart of the operation here. It's the beginning and the end of everything.
Basically what we do, if you look behind you, you'll see these towers of trays in which we place a certain amount of worms, and then we feed them garbage for about 3 months, and then they become adults. And the reason that we're raising earthworms is because we manufacture and sell domestic composters for people to be able to manage their own waste at home. This is good for a family of 4 people. All of the kitchen scraps that people produce can go in this box and turn into compost. And this is in your kitchen, no smell, and it helps you to be responsible for the waste that you produce. At the same time, you get a bonus, you get vermicompost for your plants, which is even better than compost. It's very, very stable, and it's the best plant food that you can get. Basically everything that you see in a forest, leaves are falling down from the trees, and the earthworms and other microorganisms are transforming them into this valuable plant food. And that is the same thing that we're sort of reproducing here in an artificial way. All these seeds that I was showing you before that are just starting to sprout, they'll get planted on top of these, and they'll go into a dark room. But looking into the dark room, where there's absolutely no light, you can see the sprouts that are just starting to grow. And after a few days, they'll reach this stage. So then tomorrow we can take them out and put them under the light. In there, what happens is the seeds will be looking for light, so they'll be actually growing, stretching to reach some light which isn't there. And we leave them there until they've grown long enough, and at that point we'll put them under lights. At this stage of growth, the importance of light is minimal, in the sense that photoperiodicity, which would regulate the flowering is not important because they're just very young sprouts. So it's just like one very long day. But what we want here is to get the maximum chlorophyll, because that's the health benefits of eating sprouts is also the chlorophyll content. So we leave the lights on 24 hours. So it's like a 48-hour day, just a very long day, but it gives us the maximum amount of chlorophyll, which is what we're looking for. So if you can see through the back, they're a little bit yellower, because those just came out this morning and they were lacking light, so they're yellow. There's no chlorophyll. But as we leave them under the lights for 2 days, these will be ready to harvest tomorrow morning. And after they're harvested, we'll push the other ones forward here and bring some out from where they were in the dark room. You can see, if you look this way, you can see all kinds of other varieties. Buckwheat and sunflower and fenugreek and radish, they all have seed coats which need to be washed off. So after the harvest, that's what we'll do. We'll harvest them and wash them with water and remove all the seed coat. After which point we will spin them dry and then package them. I think that we're the only indoor farm in Montreal, but there are a few farms left in Montreal. We do have the status from the Ministère de l'Agriculture. We're recognized as being a farm because all our activities are really the same as what a farm would do, which is basically to plant, grow, and then harvest. So it is a farming operation. Green pea shoots, and then we have sprouted chickpeas, lentils, a bean mix, so all kinds of different beans are in here. You can see they're just starting to sprout, but that makes them perfectly edible without cooking. In areas where, for instance, a city that is far from its source of food, unfortunately, because we've grown the cities so big that now there's this urban sprawl that has taken up all the good agricultural land, the kilometers traveled from the production area to the plate to be as short as possible, because the travel costs of, for instance, getting greens from California or from Mexico or Florida in a northern city are catching up to us. And I think that the capacity of a very small plant of 8,000 square feet to produce a ton of food every week, of very, very high quality food, and to deliver it to the market, which is very close by, is a very efficient way of doing things. And to permit a population first to be autonomous with food, because food is one of the basic things, water being another one. When we can do that, we'll have made big progress using resources in the most efficient way.